Stream o'clock, baby. Let's do it. It is Explorer time. Alright, so Max is going to be rocking out some different ideas that he has crafted against the tournament gauntlet. So I think, yeah, happy Stonks Day indeed, Star Trace. So I think we are going to rock out Green Devotion for round 1 because we know we're going to see a ton of that in the meta. That's just happening. And, yeah, got to get used to it. This list has been updated. One of the things worth noting is it's going to have a couple of Cityscape levelers in the sideboard instead of 1, a couple Portal of Phyrexias in the sideboard instead of 1. We got rid of Great Henge, we got rid of some of the fluff, and we're going for a little bit more meat on this one. Now, the other side of this match is going to be piloted by Max Damage, so I'm going to toss a link out to all y'all right now. Show some love. Feel free to get that dual screen rolling so you can see it happening on both ends in real time. I don't love this, but I don't hate this either. This is weirdly kind of resilient. Like, would we want another forest? Yes. But I think this is just fine because we have the dual elf scenario and Nykthos is already in hand, so if we... Hey, what up, Skitham? Oh, it's hanging nicely. Looks like the... Ooh, the new text came in beautifully. God, I'm happy I paid for that upgrade. Look at that shit on the screen. Looks gorgeous. So happy about it. How's the audio mixing sounding to you, Rakdos? And by that I mean Skitham. Ooh, and there's the spicy one of Ugin that we shoved in there. Let's toss another elf down and get rolling. We dare not swing. We don't actually want them to block, so we dare not swing. Alright, so we've got 2 Devotion here. We should be able to get an Old Growth Troll in. We're really just trying to get our... Yeah, I mean, we're both ramping just in different ways, right? God, I'm really tempted to grab a Karn here. Okay, so we could go Old Growth Troll, or we just go to the Karn and start pushing in on Karn. It's probably still the Troll here. We need Nykthos to matter next turn, and this makes Nykthos matter a lot. Yeah, we're still 1 off of being able to activate. This is the downside to Green Devotion. Sometimes you sit there with a Nykthos in hand and 1 in play and go, Okay. So fight rigging and incubation druids. Interesting.
Welcome to the DarkStream.
And a commune with spirits. What are you up to, Max? Hey, John Ramos. Thank you for the follow. Pleasure to have you along for the ride on this one. Yeah, we're doing Cavalier here because we can do some kind of gross things. Still think I'm preferring the elf on this one. Okay. Yeah, let's get this done. Always the baddie. See, the beauty of this is we now get to go Nykthos. And we could Ugin out the board, which probably... I'm like back and forth on that. Do we just want to do a Karn? Like, is this... Like, are we going to get wrecked by fight rigging next turn, or do we just push into Karn here? And try and figure out if we... I don't know. Karn's a little risky. Like, I want to do it desperately. Alright, no matter what, we are doing 8 mana here. I think I'm on the Ugin plan still. Okay, do we go greedy here and minus the Ugin for 3? Leave the Cavalier, blow out the board? Or do we go even greedier and blow up the Incubation Druid and just hope that's enough? Alright, either way we get the 4 points in. Yeah, I think we still have to do this. I don't love this, but, like, there's a reason we put an Ugin in this. Like, it does do some pretty gross things in this matchup in particular. I don't think we need to tap that now. Okay, now we're playing with fire a little bit, right? We're playing a little bit with fire on this one. Yeah, we don't need to do anything yet. The cure is just there so we can... Yeah, we're not doing that yet. We will do that on this upcoming term to take the Kraken down a peg. Yep. Do. Lots of options. Sorry, gang, it takes me a moment here when we get into this part of the game. Don't want to screw up. So it's going to be after we minus the Ugin 4. That's only going to go for 3. So, yeah, I think, unfortunately, we still need to go this route. One, two, three, four. Okay, this is closer to where I want to be. Yeah, Ugin takes it down on game 1. There isn't really any sideboarding with this, so we'll just take a moment to talk about it. Why each of these cards made the cut. Pretty simple. Stonebrain obsoletes a lot of the combo decks. Heart of Karn does a great job of protecting the Karn. Like if you have 6 mana and you get to Karn minus Heart of Karn, you can remove a loyalty counter from Karn and just crew it up as a 4/4 to protect it. Hiding Needle, gotta deal with other walkers. Haywire Might, gotta deal with artifacts and enchantments. There's the combo piece. For those that aren't aware, this works out nicely with a combo with double Cure, double Karn, and a certain amount of devotion with Nykthos. I've never actually comboed off with this deck. It never happens. We just grind through. But it's an option, so it's in there, and I've heard it's been a valuable option a few times. Asika's Chariot, sometimes you just need to grind. Make the land drops, obviously worthwhile. Blow out graveyards for free. Sometimes you gotta do it for Greasefang, etc. Grindy grind. Don't know on this one. This is also kind of a weird one, but I wanted a way to kill Shieldred and a few other cards potentially because Rakdos is a positive matchup but still present, and I'm kind of curious about it. It also ramps. You can lock people out with this. And these are here because you get into weird Nykthos, like Green Devotion mirrors sometimes, where Portal of Phyrex is amazing in that matchup, but you're going to go between these two in those scenarios. So let's move into game 2 and see if we can ruin the fun for the fight rigging deck to start. Good old Sultai fight rigging in Explorer. It's always a thing, right? And again, if you haven't checked out the other side of this match, feel free to get up that dual screen and check out the link that we have above. And I'll do another quick shout out here because Max is piloting the other side of this. And he's got the spicy deck. This is just tier 1. I'm the curve setter for the class, so to speak here. I'm making sure that if you wanna pass, you gotta get above me. Yes, it's reasonable. We have a turn 2 troll. They have minimal removal. We can go into turn 2 Kiora if we want to go for more value. I mean, like, this fight rigging deck with the right draw is going to absolutely obliterate us, but, like, samesies if we go back the other way. So this is a reasonable hand to keep and just say you got to have it on the other end. Because their best draw is going to beat our best draw when they're on the play. And I believe vice versa, although I'm not 100%. Because they can go off a little bit faster than we can. Okay, now we're going to go into Kiora instead because we get to untap into another elf, which pushes us into Cavalier on turn 3. There's the Incubation Druid. And as you can see, we are already at Cavalier mana. If a forest comes off the top or a Nykthos, we get Storm the Festival mana. Yeah, you old shakedown heavy. Yep. Alright. How do we want to run this? So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have Menace. Okay, so Max needs to reset his PC on that end. Understandable. Nykthos comes in faux show. That's what we love about this. Still get an elf, and we'll just push over. Yeah, I don't think we care about that. Okay. Okay, bad camera stutter. C'est la vie. Had a plan until we played Ugin. Ugi-bear is no fun. Yeah, we were probably alright on that one. They didn't have the fight rigging combo. So we'll take the easy dubs because of technical difficulties. That would have been an interesting game to play out, but ultimately Storm the Festival does a lot of work for us, especially in conjunction with these Kioras. I'm not saying it's a for sure win by any means, but things were looking nice with that Nykthos coming off the Cavalier. So that's what we look at for round 1 of the tournament gauntlet. And we're gonna have to wait a moment for Maximilian to come back online. But in the meantime, let's see if I have this actually tuned up correctly. Nope, do not. Well, let's take a look at this. So, Green Devotion, my friends. This is how the deck has evolved. There's a few key differences in this list versus other lists. First of all, I only run one Nissa. I think one Ugin is better than the second Nissa. I'm not 100% sure. 2 Ugins might be correct, but it feels really greedy. I'm on 2 Adventurous Impulse instead of 4 full Lovestruck Beast. I've seen lists that have 2 Adventurous Impulse. I've seen lists with 4 Adventurous Impulse. I've seen lists with 2 Lovestruck Beast, 4 Lovestruck Beast, 0 Lovestruck Beast. These are the slots that get shifted. Basically everything else in the deck is set in stone. Like it comes down to Nissa, Ugin, Lovestruck Beasts, Impulses, and to a degree Voracious Hydra if you want them. I don't think Voracious Hydra is good in this iteration. Like, you get more devotion for Nykthos, but the trade-off is that Kiora is unlikely to work with it. That said, you also get removal, but it doesn't come off Storm the Festival in a meaningful way. So there's like a back and forth on how good the Voracious Hydras are. It's a meta call. I like the current build because this is better in an open meta. Voracious Hydra I think would be stronger in a meta where mono green wasn't favored, which begs the question, why bother? You know, like if I'm really worried about mono blue spirits, I would not play mono green. This is a deck that gets ranched by blue spirits. In case those of you are watching and you're like, oh, I'm on the Explorer ladder, I keep losing to, or I keep running into mono green like all day long, and you're just sick to death of the fucking deck, just play mono blue spirits. You'll ranch it. It's so easy. Like, unless they get nutty draws, you just play a couple of spirits, counter their Cavaliers, and move the fuck on. Because all of this shit does not matter to you at all. None of this matters. 1 through 4 drops, don't have to counter any of it. It's beautiful. You do have to counter everything up here. But it's a spirits deck, so you're supposed to do that anyway, right? And they're not going to kill your shit, so every pump you have, like, you can just run Lords out. There's nothing to be done about it. This, like, there's a lot of people online that don't like Nykthos being in this format. It needed to be in the format. I'm sorry. I know that sucks to hear, but it needed to be in the format. Without this card, this deck isn't good enough, and if this deck isn't good enough, Rakdos runs rampant. This checks Rakdos because it's the bigger, fatter, mid-range grindy deck. Like, Rakdos can't grind through this. Believe me, we tried. There's like a way to make Rakdos beat this deck, but if you do, you are slanting it so fucking hard for the format against mono green that you might as well just run spirits because you'd have better matchups against the rest of the format. That said, with Nykthos in and this being a real deck, it's still missing some pieces from Pioneer. Like, believe me, the version of this in Pioneer would love to cut Nissa, Ugin, and both Adventurous Impulses for 4 Oath of Nissa, and then it wants to cut the Lovestruck Beasts for, I think it plays a Nicol Bolas Dragon God, because you can get those Oath of Nissas off of the Storm the Festivals, which give you the ability to pay for Planeswalkers using any type of mana. So all of a sudden you get to run fucking Nicol Bolas, which is Grixis colors, in your mono green deck as a one-of, but it's a very spicy one-of. Oh, QR plays. Oh, yep. Alright, 1 second here. Lining it up with Maximilian on the other side. Alright. Regardless, looking at this deck, the pieces that really get shifted once we get around this Lovestruck Beast, Adventurous Impulse, Nissa, and Ugin question, and I actually like this configuration the most of all the ones I've tried. The question becomes, how do you do the wishboard? Because this is a 100% Karn wishboard scenario. Nice. Maximilian's back. Perfect. 1 second. Cityscape Leveler and Portal to Phyrexia I think will belong as a one-of moving forward, but whether or not they belong as more than a one-of is up for debate. They're very powerful. It's hard to say no to this when you have Nykthos. Like, this Nykthos ramping into Portal is amazing. Alright, we're doing the same set. Let's run it back, huh? It's time to prove the power level of this mono green deck, or learn something about whether it works or not. And that's why we do these tournament gauntlets. Alright, Bandito. It's time. Winning those die rolls, always good. This is a little greedy. Like, we can go turn 1 elf, and we get the Adventurous Impulse. No, I don't like it. I'm not into it. Yeah, I'm fine with this. This is actually a decent hand. We get turn 3 Storm the Festival. Is that where we're at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Keep 6, dump a layer, because we can only put 2 into play untapped anyway. In goes the elf. It's a little unfortunate to have to put a Wolf Willow Haven. Oh, this is kind of a nuts draw, actually. As long as the last spell doesn't get countered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, now we have to turn 3 Storm the Festival. Alright, we're all in on Storm the Festival. It either gets there or it doesn't, but turn 3 Storm the Festival feels pretty good. Yeah. Let's see, we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana already? Jesus. Yeah, let's lock them the fuck out. These are the starts where you just lock the other person out. That'll blow up a fight, rigging. The power of Karn on full display here in this matchup. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we don't need to go ham with Kiora yet. Let's just smack everything in. Just in case we need to defend. Let's make sure we can do that, and we'll leave the Karn for a moment. We've got lethal on board. Like, you're seeing the power of this. The turn 4 God Pharaoh statue feels pretty ridiculous. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can go as hard as we want on this. Yep. That's what we call a busted ass draw. Good God. Don't need to talk about boarding. We already did that. And that is how gross this mono green deck can go. Turn 4. Was that turn 4 God Pharaoh? On the play. On the play. Wow. Gotta stop the Karn combo from happening or it goes bonkers. God, that was gross. Don't get me wrong, very into it. Alright. Round 2, fight. Let's go, Max. Again, this is kind of a risky hand. Like, the one-landers you can technically keep with the elf, especially when you're on game 2 and you know they don't have removal, but it just doesn't explode into anything worthwhile, so, like, what's the point? Yeah, well, this is a reasonable hand again. We'll try for the turn 3 Storm once more. We might actually get it again. Good God. Depending on how hard they explode on their turn 3, we may yet again be ahead on the proverbial explosion. This is also like one of the few decks where I'm playing 8 Elvish, like Mystic Llanowar Elf effects, and I want all of them because the devotion is relevant even when the rest of this isn't. Okay, so we need to deal with that right now. It's a nice combo, I will say that. Ah, Necromentia. Boo. Ruining the fun. So it can't be a basic land, so I feel like one of these 3 is probably getting chosen. Is it a Karn though? Do you choose the Karn? Do you choose the Storm? Do you choose the Karn? Okay. Yep. Well, I'm very happy we're not just getting 2/2 zombies. Those are pretty bad in this instance. I guess we're moving into Storm the Festival pretty quickly. I guess the question is, do we Storm or do we go for something else entirely? Like, we could go 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah. So let's do the freebies while we can. Yeah, it's unfortunate. How unfortunate. Okay. Would it have been better to go the Cavalier there? I don't know. What I do know is now we have to battle straight up because we don't have a Karn. So this is going to get a lot more interesting when we can't battle the unfair way. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is it? It's being all picky. It's being all picky, Chad. I don't like it. Oh, we picked the wrong card. It's the Great Creator, too. Oops. That's a little rough. Yeah, fuck it. We can go this route. Wow, that's gross. Yep. Let's see. Well, you guys ready for this? Yeah. Goes a little nuts. Mono green comboing off so damn hard. So damn hard. Alright. Oh. Alrighty, let's see what we got lined up for the next matchup, guys. Getting a bit of a mono green devotion turnout here today. So far, it seems to be going pretty well. Alright, let's do this. We'll play the foil one more time with mono green devotion here. Let's see. I mean, it's humans versus mono green here. We keep winning die rolls, which is great. This is way too slow. That's more like it. I like this. Up against mono white humans list, this is pretty good. Brave the Elements is the scariest thing coming off of their end. Yeah, we don't need the Nissa here. We just need to get going. I'll be honest, if I'm drawing this hot with this deck, and it keeps happening, I might just have to take this back onto the Mythic ladder. It feels a little absurd how well it can draw. So next turn is Kiora, untap, Lovestruck Beast, 1/1, unless we draw like an elf. And this is why I like Lovestruck Beasts, because we get the little stutter step. Like that recruitment officer is lovely, but the stutter step is even better. And then we just start drawing cards while we throw blockades out all day long. Okay. We let this hit the Kiora. We don't mess. Oh, yeah, we'll take it. Straight up. Yeah, we go this route. I don't think there's a reason to untap anything. Let's just pass it on over. Cavalier next turn will be good. There's the Mutavault. There's the Cathar. Kind of figured a Cathar was coming at some point, right? And now we stutter step the 4/3. This deck against Angels, it's a race to brokenness, honestly. Like, if the Angel list goes faster, we get wrecked. If they go slower, we wreck them. Portal to Phyrexian is a very important part of dealing with a lot of these decks and just going off. And let's draw a card. Man, no Nykthos there. Alright, alright. I can see how this is a problem. Like, minimal removal plus Brave the Elements is going to be an issue for facing down this deck. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can almost Alpha Strike already. That's a little terrifying. They played the creature, so they're not trying to flip the Brutal Cathar, which is interesting as well. Chef at Dunes is worth noting that it's sitting there, just staring at me. There's the Karn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we Karn here for sure. There's a debate on doing Old Growth Troll first to see if we draw Nykthos to really go off, but it's such slim odds in comparison to getting Karn down, and I want the Karn down way more. Yeah. Do. Okay, so Old Growth Troll is happening either way. So let's look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's probably a Cityscape Leveler. But if we're playing safe, we go into Mightstone, Weakstone. I'm not playing that safe. Okay, so there's a Brave the Elements on the other side. That's what that pause means. So we know Brave the Elements is coming, but it's not lethal yet. And a Cityscape Leveler. Oh, there's the Ugin. That's what we have to get to. We get to Ugin next turn, we win the game. This deck can't play through the Ugin. Ooh! Bazriket. Now that is some spice right there. The fucking Bazriket. Alright. Here for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I can get 8 off Karn. Depending on how they attack here, we'll be just fine. I will block this with an Old Growth Troll 100% of the time. If they have Brave the Elements, I'm pretty sure it's an Alpha Strike here is the appropriate thing. Because it'd be 6, 9, 10, 11, 12... 16 points. Wow, that's close. Wow, that's close. I'll block this all day. Doesn't fuck up my devotion count, and I get to ramp even harder into the things that they can't afford for me to have. Alright, so we're going to -3. Brave the Elements isn't going to save this. Yep. Ugi-bear, still a fucking house. So this is a matchup where Voracious Hydra would shine a little bit more. I still don't know that that's good enough, but this is definitely the matchup where it pushes harder. So far sitting at, what is it, 2-0 with Mono Green Devotion, looking to make it 3-0 by taking down a Mono White list that looks pretty stuck except for that Bazriket. I'm very curious. I kind of like the idea of one Bazriket coming in off the sideboard for Mono White on the play, much in the way that we saw Kaito Suzuki in Standard come in off the play for Esper and for Grixis. Like, getting that on the play with the tempo could be insane. I hadn't really thought of that until now. So, you know, shout out to Max on that front. That was fascinating. Is this quick enough? Like, there's no turn 1 elf. I'm also noting that this deck mulligans very efficiently. I don't like the lack of turn 1 plays here. I like this a lot better, and it's only a 1-lander, and I still like it a lot better. I'm willing to gamble on this one and throw back the Storm the Festival. We're on the draw. We have elves. I think this is worth the gamble. Time will tell, obviously, but... Oh, there's a little Nykthos. Okay, so we're ramping hard next turn. We can push into the turn 3 Cavalier, potentially. But they should be able to put in a lot of pressure on the play here. Ooh, that was good. Oh, that was good. That Thalia is putting in some fucking work today. Ah, Christ. Well, we don't get to explode anymore. I think we have to go this route. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to land off the top to get to the Cavalier, and that's kind of where we're going. That Thalia prevented the busted start. But again, look at the fact that that worked on the play for them, but on the draw, that would have been a turn too slow. We would have already pushed right through. So, the lack of 1 mana removal sitting around that I've seen is a little concerning, I think. Because you kind of need that. But the tempo they have here... Oh, and we missed the land drop. I think that's going to be game on the fact that we missed the land drop. We'll see if we can distract. But I don't think it's going to be something that pans out for us. I mean, we're not going to just scoop it up yet. But if you look at this, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 power now. Ooh. Wow, that is locking out Storm of the Festival, and then Adeline coming in hard. Let's see, 7... Oh, that might be Xaxes already. 7... Yep, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we have to block. And I'm pretty sure we lost to the tempo on this one. And you're seeing the power of this mono white deck if it gets under you with that Thalia. It is an absolute house if it gets going. Okay, so if we go this route, 3... I still don't think this is good enough, but we are going to give it the good old college try here. We need to land off of it, a forest. See, and this is still a reasonable scenario, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. I'll wait one moment to double check it, but I think we're off slightly. This has to be an elf to give us enough? No. Alright, either way, let's make them have it. Gotta make them do the math and prove out. Our job is to cast big, dumb, fat creatures. Their job is to prove that they can win. In a weird way, ignoring the Kiora was the correct move here. It's not common that that's the case, but it absolutely was in this game. If they have Brave the Elements, that would be nuts here. Like, I'll block that Adeline all day long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. Sads Panda. Didn't quite pull it off. So if we'd had another 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we'd still, even if we got the elf there, we'd still be dead. And Mutavault's already there anyway. Plus there's Shephet Dunes that they could have activated and chose not to. Interesting. Yep, we dead. We real dead. Alright, let's try this on a play. Game 3. It would not surprise me to find out that Mono Green Devotion has an issue with the Mono White Humans matchup. The amount of stutter steps and then the Alpha Strike Brave the Elements is potent. Extremely potent. We definitely keep this though. Hello turn 2 Kiora, and turn 3 Old Growth with Nykthos back. It's not guaranteed to ramp in anything other than lands, but this is... Like, if this was a Karn, this hand would feel gross. Do we do it that way? Yeah. We don't have any action. We need to go Kiora first. If they want that Kiora, make them prove it out, right? There it is. Luminarch to prove out, which means Cathar is probably coming next. Yup. Does it go for the face or the Kiora? For the face again. Okay. Ignoring Kiora. There's the Karn. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Push one over there. Is it worth just doing the Karn here? Let's see, we could go Journey to next Karn, Karn minus Sky Sovereign, aim the Sky Sovereign for next turn. Sky Sovereign doesn't seem bad in a vacuum here. And we still get to untap the Elvish Mystic. Alright, let's take an unconventional line here, chat, and see if this pays off. It's a very unconventional line. I'm not sure I love it. Okay, they didn't have the Gruul Cathar. That's very, very good. That would have been a nightmare. They get to push the recruitment officer out of range pretty quickly, I think. Yep, we knew Karn was going to die for this cause. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get one more activation off Karn if we want, at the cost of devotion. No. Karn can die, we can take a little hit here. Okay, so if we go this route, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4 points. I don't know if this Karn route was just a mistake because of the devotion issue. Yeah, I think we got to go a little bit bigger. That might have been a mistake, chat. Let's find out. Feels like we should have done the old growth troll first and push towards a portal for Phyrexia. It's been a minute since I actually learned how to do the lines on this deck, so apologies to everyone out there. Oh my god, Sky Sovereign. We might have just fucked ourselves on this. Jesus. Okay. Is there Brave the Elements to just lethal this? Gotta take it. Yep. So 5 untap. God damn, we really did fuck ourselves not playing that old growth troll. Yep. Okay, bear with me, chat. Bear with me, chat. This is going to take me a moment to do correctly. Been a moment since I sequenced, but I promise we will get there. Down go 3 of them. Okay, we got it. Whew, I thought I sequenced that shittily. I did, but it didn't matter in the end, because Nykthos is gross, and we comboed him. And that is why Portal to Phyrexia is in there as a 2-of, because sometimes you cast one, and you debate whether or not you need to go get another. Alright. Pretty sure we're just on the next deck up on my end. So let's shift over and... Ooh, let's do a little... What do we need? A little Rakdos, right? Yeah, that might have been a slight misboard, but I don't know. It's stuff we can work on. Definitely stuff to work on, and that's part of this process, you know? Like, I have the benefit of 20 years of playing this game competitively, so there are a few more lines that I can see than most, but I'm still not like Finkel level, so I make mistakes, as you saw in that matchup with not playing the old growth troll and getting greedy with Karn, and then like basically time walking myself and relying on the absolute sackiest Nykthos sequencing I've ever done. The fact that Portal to Phyrexia and Sky Sovereign get around the issue of Brave the Elements is quite lovely. Oh my god, Nerdy Steve coming in hot with a rating party of 58 apparently. Holy hell. Well, shout out to Nerdy Steve, much love. And I do believe a congratulations on your anniversary is in order, Nerdy Steve. Much love and much thanks as always. So for those just tuning in, welcome. If you like the content, feel free to toss us a follow, even a sub if you're really feeling it. But welcome, welcome. We're doing some Explorer Gauntlet testing.
Welcome to TheDarkStream.
Hey, thank you. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I apologize, so I'm not going to try and butcher it on stream. We're... Oh, always Nerdy Steve. Always. I'm a huge fan. We're fine with this. Yeah, so we're up Rakdos mid, game 1, going up against Mono White Humans. We just took down Mono White Humans with Mono Green Devotion, so we're kind of working through all of that. Yeah, we'll still do the Thoughtseize turn 1. There's no reason not to sequence this through. Alright, so we need to stutter step. Oh my god, there's Thalia. Well, we're stutter stepping the shit out of that. That's step 1. That card is a nightmare. And we need to be able to get Bone Crushers off and running against these Luminarchs, as you're about to see. Looks fine on that end. I don't think there's a reason not to wait for the triggers, because we might get lucky and just wreck people in sequencing. There's always that, right? Alright, Bone Crusher, you're going to nail at least one Aspirant. The question is if they go greedy on Adeline or not. I think that... Interesting. Okay, so Basri gets to go up. And we punish the sequencing scenario right here. There we go. Now, on the back end, we need to make sure Adeline doesn't hit. We don't have good removal for it. We don't have the 4th land for Shieldred to hold it at bay, so it's gots to go. And then we can dump a Blood Tithe Harvester in. And we got to make sure Basri Ket doesn't go off either. That is a concern in this matchup in particular. Yep. Luminarch Aspirant coming in. So, second part there, sure. Alright, that Basri Ket is almost fucking at ult range already. That is a problem. We didn't get the 4th land, so we don't get to sequence into Shieldred here. So we can go Blood Tithe Harvester, blow up the Aspirant, but that doesn't really solve the problem now, does it? They still have a Basri Ket, and we need to get out from under this. think we're going to end up on Fable the Mirror Breaker here. But I think first we get to swing it in. It feels like we get to do that at least. I really wish we had another Bone Crusher for this Dauntless. I guess it wouldn't matter in that scenario. Okay. Let's be careful on how we sequence all these things. Good God. Alright, chat. This is one of those plays where you can go into Blood Tithe Harvester, kill this one, then blow this out to try and grab the 4th land, dumping out the Fable or the Graveyard Trespasser. Or you can swing with Harvester, hope they let it through at the Basri, and want to just continue, and then we Fable, we take a certain amount of damage, but we're still in the game pretty easily. I don't think we can play for the misplay on their end. I think we need to play this one straight up, so let's do that. Also, Luminar can get out of control in this matchup, and I think everybody knows that. Thankfully, Indestructible has nothing to do with that. Alright. Let's go ahead and dump out the Fable here, I think. No, it's Trespasser, right? Yeah. We dump the Trespasser. We're looking for another land here, or some removal, like Fatal Push or 2 would be lovely. Just like that. Okay, we got to get through to this Basri. That is priority numero uno right now. Wow, that is a lot of pressure. I think that swing is the mistake. By making that swing, we are able to get in against the Basri. I think that's going to be the defining mistake of this. If they have Brave the Elements, it's huge here. Okay, so now we just have to spin the wheel and get really fucking lucky. We can dump the Gix out. Nope, did not. Wow, this Basri is just putting in work. I'm happy to see it, frankly. Okay. The beginning of combat, put a +1/+1 and a soldier. Holy fuck. Oh, and there's the Thalia's Lieutenant. I think we're going to get run the hell over. I'm loving this Basri Cat. It's wild. It's very effective. Okay. This is the spice. Basri Cat. It's going to make the sideboarding really interesting. You are not indestructible, so you are absolutely getting killed. I don't know why this didn't get ulted, but I guess the greed is real. The way through is Shieldred. Of all possible ways, I think that's the only one that makes any sense. It at least forces them to top deck some removal here and apply more pressure. Oh my god, they got the removal. Okay. Alright, chat. Well, sometimes that happens. I don't think there's a way through this. Yeah, let's move to the board, chat. Let's move to the board. That was quite something. God damn. Alright, Noxious Grasps, you're coming in. Rending Volleys, you're coming in. We have a lot of removal to bring in this matchup, and we are definitely going to do that. Things that we don't care about and don't need. T-Dog doesn't matter. Misery Shadow, not really that relevant, unless they have Extraction Specialist. Croxa, kind of mid. Fables, very mid. Trespassers, pretty mid. So, I mean, we just go into a removal heavy suite against them. We don't need the Thoughtseize, we have the early removal. And I kind of just want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 3 left. We can go into Fable Land or we can go into Trespasser Land. I think it's Trespasser because of the life gain and the relevance of that. Definitely not Gix. We'll play the final Trespasser first. All right. That Bazzery was terrifying. And again, if you...
Welcome to the DarkStream.
Okay, damn it. Unfortunately, somebody with the name of Lucifer is gonna have to get banned. I hate doing it. But, sorry. Sorry. We're not looking for bots, and we're not looking to pay for all of this stuff. Alright. That's not gonna do it. Well, I don't think we're going to 5 on this one. We'd keep this as an acceptable 6 regardless, so we'll dump out the Sulfurous, which we don't need, and we will push forward. We've got removal into Trespasser, and we're going to hit our land drops, so as long as we don't flood out, I don't feel terrible about this position. Sure. Yeah, we're doing this for the curve purposes. We need to put the pressure on correctly. Colligan's command should do a nice job of that, too. A little 2-for-1 on the next thing they play, as long as it's not Adeline. Ooh, this is going to feel brutal if they pay the ward cost. Yikes. That's going to hurt a lot in a moment. And that's why Colligan's command came in. And for those of you sticking around, following, and enjoying, please feel free to toss a follow. It's free, it helps, and you never know, you might find some content you like. We do run everything from paper proxied vintage, and I do mean nice proxies, all the way back. Ooh, see, there's that little extraction specialist combo that we don't love. Alright. Alright. We kind of assumed something like that was going to happen. Don't know if the Hive needed to swing there, but shit works sometimes, right? And if you want to see the other side of this matchup, Max is running it, and we do this usually about once a week on Wednesdays, where we rock this out. Great way to get some test reps in. We're flooding out pretty hard here. It'd be great to not do that. Oof. That's the problem with Rakdos, though. Look what happens when we flood. Alright, so we activate the Hive. God damn. We've got a little time still. Remember the days of Meat Hook Massacre? Those were fun. Alright, so there's a Bone Crusher at least. And this is the problem with getting rid of Fable, I suppose. We end up in situations like these. Alright, we need to block the Adeline here, so that's where we're pushing. Yep, Brutal Cathar is a card. It sure Cathars. I don't think there's an out to this, unfortunately. I think we're going to get run over here. Million removal spells. Definitely needed Languish to be in the removal spells we actually played. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep, we did. Alright. Rakdos mid, not looking great after everything's been shifted with Brave the Elements, with, I mean, all the cards, really. I can see why Darth Camden Taste was rocking out the 3 Languish in the sideboard. Extinction Event's lovely to shore up the mono-green matchup, but I understand what he meant now when he said you lose the mono-green matchup, but sometimes you just gotta take that L. So let's fix this real quick while Bandito. Maximilian takes a restroom break. Let's just fix it real quick. Languish, you're coming back. Oh, yes, you are. Not in the main, though. We'll dump the Shieldred back to the main, so we have the third copy. Let's dump 3 Languish in the sideboard. And then I'm going to restart the hell out of this, because apparently this decided to just start glitching again. Thanks, Wizards, by the way, for not fixing that glitch. Don't worry. We'll just do this. Again, you like the content, toss us a follow. It's free, and you never know. You might enjoy the hell out of what we have. Alright, did the art get fixed? Let's find out. Looks like the art's fixed. Okay. Guess it's much closer to where I would want the list. The third Noxious Grasp is a little over the top. We probably just want the 4th Rending Volley if we're accepting the L that we almost certainly need to. Yeah, we probably have to run it this way. Meat Hook's not in this format, right? I'm not just hallucinating. It is. Okay. It is and it isn't. What is going on here? That's why. Traditional Explorer. Okay, so Meat Hook's in this format. Do we just play one of these instead of the Languishes? Do we just go into Meat Hook land? I feel like 1 Meat Hook over the 3rd Languish is appropriate in this instance. Like, Languish is lovely, but Meat Hook is forevers. Sometimes you want to hook the meat, you know? Nerdy Steve knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you gotta hook that meat. Yeah. Either way, Rakdos not where I want to be, which is the first time I've said that basically all year. Up until now, Rakdos has felt like a fine choice. Let's see here. I think this is the next deck up on the list. This is it Swarm? Is it Pyro? I guess we should just call it Is it Pyro, right? It is a Swarm strategy, but Is it Pyro is a little bit more accurate since it's the 8 Pyro effects here and then some Ledger Shredders. I did a pretty good run with this recently. I think it's soft, but I could be wrong, and I'm very, very intrigued about whether I'm right and it's actually good. You get like a mini Treasure Cruise effect, but everything's so cheap. That's the beauty of this deck. Like your threat, everything's basically 2 mana. This usually is a 1 mana spell. So you get to curve out fast and play multiple spells and really go after it. Now the Archon of Emerias on the humans list sideboard are concerning, very concerning, but you do have ways to kill them. I mean, Fiery Impulse still is just a 1-for-1 on that front, and the Rending Volleys are still sitting in the sideboard. So I like where this is trying to be right now in the format. I don't know if it's good enough or not, but I like what it's trying to do. So hypothetically, it should be lovely. Spell Pierce's main will probably be the sideboard slot to go out against humans. We'll push 3 of those out for 3 Rending Volleys without even thinking about it. And then the 4th Rending Volley probably comes in for the first Make Disappear. The Abrade comes in for the second Make Disappear. Let's see, the Aether Gust doesn't do anything, Mystical Dispute does nothing, and Disdainful Stroke does nothing. So we leave the 2 other Make Disappears in. That's kind of the tension point of this deck, is that you want like 2 more sideboard slots, but I'm not sure whether you are able to give up the Gigantha without having an issue there. Like, I want that 15th sideboard slot, but the Gigantha, it's still pretty decent. So it's really a question of whether or not you can afford to do that. I've played too many games where Gigantha has come in clutch. Hey, Morgan Kyle, great to see you. Great to see you. Thank you, Morgan Kyle. Appreciate it. This is my Wednesday night attire. It's called I Didn't Want to Put a Shirt on. It seemed like a lot of effort. So, maximum effort, as always. And Is it Pyro? Away we go. Thank you, Morton Kyle. I am working on the Viking look. I don't know if we're there yet. I did have the good fortune of finding a hairdresser who I could tip under the table to braid my hair because I just don't know how to do it. Like, never learn. Nobody ever teaches you when you're a dude who lives in the Midwest in America. It's not really a thing people teach you, like how to braid hair. So I don't know how to do it, and it looked like it was going to take more effort than I wanted to put in, so I simply found somebody that, for special events, I'll shave the shit out the sides and then just braid this down Viking style, right? Vikings from Normandy. Nice. Okay, that is sweet. I'm a little jealous. I'm super Norwegian, so got some Viking blood myself. This is kind of an awkward hand. We're a little land heavy. We don't have any, like, we have over 21 mana spells. We have none of them in hand, but we're on the draw. And frankly, we don't need to start casting them right away. So I'm amenable to trying this hand and seeing if it just gets run over because it's too slow. Ooh, see, and look at that. There's the spice right there. Love it. This is definitely an interesting map. Like, we're trying to contain them while we swarm, and if we succeed in doing that, I think we'll be just fine. We fail to do that, it's gonna be a bad day, right? So let's get this third path Iconoclast out and running. I don't know what humans is doing here. No 1-drop or 2-drop is very odd. If they're going like turn 3 Brutal Cathar though, it's not gonna work well. Yeah, see, now this doesn't bother me even slightly, because we just do this. I guess we don't need that right away, do we? No, we don't need that right away. Let's wait and see what they do. Sometimes you get to get a little minor gains here and there, like they play an Adeline, then you blow up the Cathar, get your board back, and they don't get to swing. There's no sense in giving out free information here. Basri. See, now this is another example of a way to blow out a Basri. Unless they have Brave the Elements right here and right now, we're going to blow out this Basri cat. Ah, had it. Alright, well, sometimes you gotta force it. Look at how cheap this little mini treasure cruise got, though. I think we go in the air for this one? No, we're still swarming. We're still swarming. And I think I'm keeping the Make Disappear up and just passing it on back. Basri kept being able to tick up super annoying, but getting to Make Disappear this feels really good. And you see how Make Disappear is a better version of Mana Leak in this deck most of the time. Alright, so Addy gets countered. Lovely. Basri Ket, there should be another creature coming down here. There's the Thalia. Okay. Really good against this deck. Thalia forces us to play in a way I really don't want to play. It's a very fair scenario now, which I don't love. But luckily we have Ledger Shredder. So we just do this. And welcome to the Swarm. Off you go. There's an Obliterating Bolt for next turn, so let's dump the Pyro Canal in and pass it on back. Odds are high we will Obliterating Bolt out the Thalia here. Oh wow. Okay, so they're kind of going off here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. We'd rather have gas in the tank in this scenario. Basri Ket, do you go on the Thalia? I would have gone on the Thalia there. That's okay though. I'll take everything we can get here. Yeah. Let's go a little wide here. Really showcase the power of this deck. This is why we have all this removal. Alright. All of this needs to go at Basri, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's opt first. I would like to see what else we have coming. But Basri needs to die. Please and thank you. On to the bottom you go. Extra land. Ah, still get it anyway, huh? Alright, whatever. All Basris must die. Rar. This works out just fine for me. Basri goes down to 1. Alright, deal. Bet. Let's do it. We've got enough of the swarm. We just need to be able to take out Basri and get going. And this does that nicely. Okay, so there's a trick that was missed here. The trick is that you activate both mutavaults ahead of time so they both get counters. One of which can swing, one of which can't. But that's definitely the right sequencing for Thalia's Lieutenant. It's a common mistake though. It's not a big deal. It's a very common error. Yeah, fuck it. Yep. We're gonna get there in 2 swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super simple boarding strategy. There isn't much to be done on the boarding here. This is one of those scenarios where, again, if we had 2 more slots, I would get rid of the Make Disappears for 2 more pieces of removal. Frankly, I'd love to get 2 more Obliterating Bolts in the sideboard. I don't know where we can afford to cut the slots. You need the Aether Gust for Mono Green Devotion, you need the Disdainful Strokes for that and control, you need the Mystical Disputes for Spirits and for control. I don't know where we get the slots. There's an argument to be made that we can lose 1 Spell Pierce main for 1 more Obliterating Bolt, and there's an argument to be made on 1 Make Disappear moving for the 4th Obliterating Bolt. I don't know that they're good arguments, but they are certainly there for people who want them. Regardless, the key here is making sure they don't explode faster than we do. It feels like Explorer is very much in that frame of mind right now. If you're not playing blue-white Gandalf control, then it feels like you are mostly just trying to explode quicker than your opponent. I think there's a term for that called Limp Biscuit and a Cracker. Nerdy Steve might know what I'm talking about. And for those of you just tuning in, if you like the content, toss us a follow. It means a lot. Always love it. We're a little bit newer on the stream game than Nerdy Steve is, obviously, but we out here. We're grinding. We're having a good time. And if you haven't checked out the other side of this matchup, check out Max Damage. And you can pull up screens. Just get that dual screen going. 1 on each side. We're going to mull this. We are definitely keeping this. We'll dump the Make Disappear back. I don't think that's good enough for what we're trying to do here. If they get a Speed Demon start, I don't know that we have a really good set of options against them. Yeah, we're still doing this. We need to be able to consider if they get the Thalia down. Because we need to find a Fiery Impulse if we can, or a Rending Volley. We have 10 1-mana removal spells. So we do have answers to a lot of things. No turn 2 play is interesting as well. Okay. Well, I'm going to play Young Jeezy every time. There's no, like, I don't care if they play Brutal Cathar. We'll just do a Young Jeezy into a Rending to kill it, you know? Totally reasonable. Not even concerned. Not concerned. And in this particular instance, do we want the Shredder or the Young Jeezy? Probably Young Jeezy still. Shredder's lovely. Having double GZ up with an obliterating bolt into Shredder next turn, even more lovely. And we play that main phase because Brave the Elements is there, and we can't afford for it not to resolve in this instance. Ooh, that's potent. Very potent. Yeah, we don't mind trading swarm pieces back and forth. That's totally reasonable. Ledger Shredder goes, as does Obliterating Bolt here. Let's force the Dauntless out. And we will probably lose the Make Disappear. Ooh, or do we just lose the other Shredder? I think we have to lose the other Shredder here. These turn on young Jeezys, the Shredders really don't. Yep, totally fine. Izzet Pyro's doing some pretty good things here. Yep, Thalia comes down, makes life a little more difficult, and there's the Dauntless. Okay, give me some removal, of course not. Yeah, it's still going to be the land. Much as I want the extra counter here, it's still going to be the land. 4, 5... It goes on the Addy here. It definitely goes on Adeline here. We can trade the pieces back and forth, though. We're still very much in this game. Okay. So, we need to get rid of the Hopeful Initiate here. We are not going to bother with either of these, though. Because we need Make Disappear up still. If we get a Rending Volley, I mean, this is still hooked in. Adeline's such a problem. Oh god, so many problems here. Okay, we're gonna pass it on back. That Thalia is yet again a headache and a half, and we don't want to deal with it if we can help it. Brave the Elements doesn't push through everything here, which is fortunate. Yep, and that is why we held up Make Disappear. To Make Disappear sticking in the main has paid off here. Alrighty. Whatever's left is still relevant, it looks like. So let's see what they're going to play now. What do we think, chat? Lay down arms, holy hell. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be the Iconoclast here. Can't really swing with anything but the Addy. And I will block everything into Addy here to force the Dauntless out so that the next removal spell pushes through. Alright, they're not gonna risk it, fair enough. And we are going to do a Ledger Shredder into an Opt here to get the double Shredder going. It doesn't, I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but it's still worth doing here. Nice. Totally fine there. Yeah, we keep the Opt. We're just stabilizing the board for a moment here. Yeah, there's no need to push through here. We're still only at 12 life, and they have quite the board presence. That's pretty fucking good. Again, the mistake there is not activating the Mutavault ahead of time so that it gets the counter off of Thalia's. Interesting. So we take 3 and blow up their whole board. That seems fine. Mostly, I just like that we're getting Thalia the fuck off this board. There's a couple of routes to go here. So we can opt into a opt and then just running volley no matter what. It doesn't solve the Adeline crisis, so to speak, but it does deal with Thalia's Lieutenant, and then they're left with very little that matters. And the other Ledger Shredder opens up. We could also just hit double removal off of this and kill the Addy, and then we're in a pretty good position, plus we'll Ledger Shred a bunch. I think we're doing this. Do we just do it on their turn? Yeah, we just do it on their turn. Let's move it back to their turn. I don't think this needs to happen yet. Patience, Padawan. Patience. And again, if you're just finding out about this channel, toss us a follow. Come say hi. Off to the bottom you go, land. Okay, that's for which one? That one? Okay, we can discard there for this one. And that one for this one. And that is how we clean it up. Ledger Shredder getting out of control here. Hey, what up, Shug Knight? Doing alright. Doing alright. Just doing some gauntlet testing with Max. And again, for those of you who have not seen the other side of this, Max Damage is live with the other side of this. So if you want to watch Explorer testing in depth, you came to the right channel. Because we are going to be rocking out, for a little bit now still, some more Explorer testing. Mono White Humans taking the loss to Mono Green Devotion, the loss to Izzet Pyro, but the win over Rakdos Midrange. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see. And we are on to next one. Just a little team testing. Gotta get people ready for tournaments, right? Let's see. I feel like we're gonna see enough Mono White Angels that we should see Mono White Humans versus Mono White Angels. I don't love this deck, but it is present in the meta. For those who haven't seen it, a number of iterations of this deck have shifted now, and they're no longer doing green for Coco. They're just on, was it Kayla's Reconstruction and Mono White, so that they can run a couple copies of Nykthos, go a little bit bigger. It's an interesting iteration. I don't know that it's stronger than the Coco one. I'm not claiming that, but I know that it is doing well. I believe one of them hit up the Pizza Box Open and did well, like top 8 or 9th. It was 8th or 9th place. Also, you get Mutavault and Book of Exalted Deeds, which can soft lock people out of the game entirely. We'll keep this. This is definitely an interesting hand. And I still need to learn pieces of this deck so that I understand fully what it's trying to do, you know? Nykthos seems very intriguing. We even got our Angel Lance for this one. Alright. Is this deck for reals or not? I do not know yet. It doesn't feel great so far. Feels like it's clunky, but if you get the right draw, it's just busted, right? That's not really where you want to be. Can't really swing into me here, which is nice. They've got an awkward draw on their end as well. Didn't hit that third land. I think this is just going to get shoved back over to me. And we drew the Valkyrie. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not above just playing this at this point. As much as I like Giada, Valkyrie hitting is still big game. And same, yeah, Giada's just not as relevant as getting a Valkyrie into play to start pumping the team and pushing the life total to an unassailable number is the idea. This forces that third land into Brutal Cathar scenario, and the absence of that is not great. What could you possibly have? We'll leave this off for a moment. I don't know if they're braving the elements, what they're doing here. But I don't think there's a pump spell that screws me. And if there is, I want to know about it, and I'll learn it the hard way, because it's worth it. Oh. It's a spicy number. Alright. They lost their third land to do that, though. Interesting. Alright, Giada, you're coming to play finally. And we can just hold back that 1/1 spirit because it makes recruitment officer look a lot worse until they get... There's the Dauntless. Do they have the Thalia's Lieutenant to really push forward? That's the question. And again, if you are new to the channel, they do have the Lieutenant. Toss us a follow if you wouldn't mind. And make sure you support the rest of these wonderful content creators that we partner with and we work with. Shug Knight, MaxDamage, Mordenkyle, all Nerdy Steve, all of them. Excellent content creators. Okay, so that's sitting on Thalia at this point. Fantastic. Let's kill a recruitment officer. Nerdy Steve will be with us, Mordenkyle. He knoweth not yet, but in due time, yeah. He'll be gaming it out with us, I have no doubt. Everybody loves Nerdy Steve. That's the beauty of Nerdy Steve. Most lovable man in the universe. Alright. So these are just like stuck in hand, and this Nykthos is not quite pulling its weight yet. So we can do this into Dis. I think we're doing Book of Exalted Deeds here over Kayla's, because then we can get a huge Kayla's next turn. In the meantime, we still get extra angels. Definitely somebody buy Nerdy Steve and iced coffee. Alright, let's get this Book of Exalted Deeds going. And now we get to see the power of Exalted go a little nuts here. Look at that beaut. That feels pretty difficult to get through. Brutal Cathar would help. Let's do some more shout outs here for everybody who hasn't met the various team members, the different people that we work with, that we love. Shug Knight, Mordenkyle, MaxDamage, Nerdy Steve. Them's my peeps. Yep, they got to Hopeful Initiate there. Okay, so 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, this is basically a Coco right now. Let's see what we can get off Coco, right? This is gonna be kind of silly. I think we managed to explode a little bit harder and a little bit faster than them. Yeah. Angel's still looking strong. Alright, what do we like? We like the portable holes here. Oh, do we need other things, or is it just portable holes? Sarah Paragon's not really that relevant. Book of Exalted Deeds is kind of mid in this particular instance. And the Lunarch Veterans are also pretty mid, so let's push those back quite a bit. I like the idea of Alira over the final Veteran. Just in a vacuum, that card is so damn hard to deal with. And I like that. I don't know. Is it worth just having the one Lunarch? Like, are we giving up on something we shouldn't be giving up on? Chat? It's hard to know. I don't know. I like the Lyra giving all my angels lifelink though. That seems very potent. Seems very strong. And again, if you haven't, please toss a follow, toss a sub. Both to myself, Morton, Kyle, Shook Knight, Max Damage, Nerdy Steve. We put on a show for a reason, to entertain you. Alright, so Portable Hole, not doing a whole lot at the moment. How far do we want to go down the rabbit hole? Don't miss land drops, pretty please. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping to see just another 1 or 2 drop, not a Brutal Cathar for... Okay, so we get to Portable Hole all of this out. That's nice. We'll reset the board, and then we begin again. Portable Holes pulling their weight here. Let's do a full hard reset and move it right the fuck along. Addy, yep, that's a problem. I think we're just on let's play triple Righteous Valkyrie, and if they have the removal pieces for them, we're going to lose a horrible, horrible death here. Like, we die a horrible death if this doesn't work out the way we hope it does. Oh, man. Having a great night, Suge Knight. Always fascinating to play this match out. Now this is a lot of pressure. Oof. Oof. Yeah, we're still on Righteous here. That's the only way we get out of this. I think it's still too little too late. So 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nah, I think we're fucked. There's no polite way to say it, so I think we lose a horrible, horrible death here. Alright, alright. They got us on the tempo play here. And Humans on the play does this about 1 out of 3 games where they just tempo right through you, and there ain't a damn thing you can do when that happens. Like, we can block the Mutavault, but we take the rest, and we get riggedy wrecked. Oh my god, do they have the removal spell too? And the account shell. Oof. Alright, Max, I see you. I see you. Playing hard. Playing hard. I still like the way we boarded, honestly. It feels correct. Yeah, it's just a rough one. Let's see what it's like on the play here. And for those wondering why Mirius calls in this deck, it's one of the mini combos with Nykthos. Sometimes you get there. I'm not saying it's amazing, I'm just saying it's a thing, right? Alright, so again, reasonable hand, a little land light, don't love that. I think I'm going on the Giada train here. Right? Okay, we could go Bishop, though. If we go Bishop and they don't have the removal piece, it's pretty damn good. And that's probably worth pushing. Yeah. Well, then there's this. Let's hit him for 1, right, chat? Bar. Bishop go. Brrr. Get him. Get him. And there's the Cathar, sure. Alright. We already have 3 on the Nykthos. We're not actually that far away from doing some pretty gross things with Nykthos here. There's the Luminarch to make everything difficult. Math no longer works in our favor on Brutal Cathar. Yeah, we'll go this route. And we have our third portable hole here. I love the devotion with this on Nykthos. That's quite something. Let's take this out to play. And we can smack 2 points in the air here. A little vigilance. Smack a Ruski. Okay. Hopeful initiate. Looking to make portable holes irrelevant as quickly as possible. And there's the time walk. They have the Addy. So we need to push Kayla's reconstruction here, I think, right? Alright. Let's see if we can do something a little more broken than Coco. Oh my god. Oh, how do we miss that hard? That hurts my soul. No, it happens though, right? Shit does happen like that though. Are we on this train? I think it's still just one Giada to start. Wow, Kayla's reconstruction. Let me down hard there. Alright, they have no profitable attack here, so I don't think they're going to bother. Unless the last card in their hand is Thalia's Lieutenant, I feel just fine about this. Alright, Kayla's reconstruction. Motherfucking time to pay out here, right? Good top deck. Look at the top 7. Yeah, all 7 can come into play. Let's see if we get the ultimate Coco. Everybody ready in the chat? Ultimate Coco time. Okay, that was not ultimate Coco, but it was still pretty damn good. You gotta spam some of these emotes back and forth, you know? This is the way. And now we get to watch Resplendent go kinda nuts. Yeah. Mono White Humans, currently 1-3 against our various gauntlet lists. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty lucky game 3. Although, to be fair, the first Kayla's reconstruction almost entirely whiffed, and the second one didn't hit a single Righteous Valkyrie. So we went through 15 cards. Went through half our deck without seeing a Righteous Valkyrie. So in a way, we were lucky and unlucky. But we did see triple fucking portable hole. Alright. What do you think, chat? Should we get one more through and see how... Alright, we can do Gruul Aggro, Greasefang, the Human Mirror, or Snow Spirits. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I think I'm on that Gruul life right now. I do think the Gruul deck is going to be relevant moving forward, and I want to know if it's good enough against this. Let's do it. And if you haven't yet, please feel free to toss a sub or follow. We appreciate it. All of us over here. That's what I love about Wednesday night playtesting. It just brings me back to an older age of Magic one where I used to sit down with like 3 or 4 different people, and we just run games for like, I don't know, 6 hours. Remember college and how nice it was to have all that free time? Just for those of us who didn't take a hard major, all right, I know some of you were in STEM classes and taking like biochem and other stuff, and then there were people like me who took political science and did fuck all during college except for have drinks and play Magic, which was lovely until, you know, the finale, when you find out you have to do other things afterwards and you can't just do that in perpetuity. You figure it out, right? It's a thing. But in the meantime, what I love about this Wednesday night playtesting, even if it's done digitally, it's so reminiscent of an era of Magic that I've missed for a very long time. Just sitting down, flopping cards, trying to figure out formats. I don't see as much of that lately. What I see a lot of, instead of people that are grouping into teams like we did in the old days, I see a lot of people that just kind of rage on Twitter that they're not doing well in Mythic, or that, you know, this format's broken or that format's broken. And usually they're wrong, and I hate to say that, but like, it's true. It's true. Like, Nykthos didn't break this format. It balanced it. And there's a lot of this format left to be explored. As you saw with like that weird Izzet Pyro list, I'm 5-0 with that list against Mono Green Devotion. So the next time somebody tells you Mono Green Devotion is like insane in this format, try playing counterspells and tempo. It's pretty good. It checks it pretty hard. That deck does not do interaction well. What Mono Green Devotion thrives on is when your opponent is trying to remove individual pieces, right? Because there's too many. It does the advantage resource war so efficiently that if you're trying to just answer individual pieces, you're going to get ground out. There's too much advantage. But if you apply a little tempo and you manage to counter the top heavy pieces, that deck falls the fuck apart like a house of cards, which I love. But I like that Nykthos is in the format for that reason. You know, like it gives the check that we needed for Rakdos. And believe me, Rakdos needed a damn check. I mean, I played that deck so much. It was so incredibly powerful in this format with Nykthos not in it. Wizards managed to get that right, at least. And anybody who knows me can tell you that I don't praise Wizards often. This feels reasonable. We're going to be like a mana shy of where I want to be, but this feels reasonable, and I think it's the Mutavault that goes back here. We need to make sure we're hitting double green and single red. And we can't rely on this staying, even though it's humans potentially that we're playing against, we can't rely on that being the end-all be-all. So what I also like about this particular hand is we very quickly get into, we can just dump a Gigantha into hand. Like, are we going to get Fatal Pushed? Okay, that's reasonable. We go kind of nuts if they don't, so. Looks like we're up against black something. Is it mono black? Is it Rakdos? Oh, we're getting Thoughtseize, that's for damn sure. The boat has gone away. Oh, we got a free turn, might as well grab the Gigantha. We'll have a 5-drop anyway, Maximus. Best believe I'll play Seeker's Chariot every time against this deck. The value engine of Seeker's Chariot is not to be trifled with. There's a reason Greasefang moved over this direction. Alright, pump this Chariot on up. And let's get going, right? If they want to blow up the Chariot, that's fine. I don't think they have the... Like, you can't Fatal Push it right now. You can Murderous Rider it, okay. Still, look at the value the Chariot's getting in this particular instance. It's not small. Okay. That goes out. Showa. Why don't we just play another one? That seems good, right? How do you plan to deal with Chariot, you know? The value engine just sits there. Crone War's there, so Shieldred isn't going to wreck me here. And in case you're wondering, the reason I love this list for Crone War is it has a little combo with these crew scenarios. And it's just wonderful. It's absolutely lovely. Go for the throw day. Yep, still not going to be enough for what we're trying to do. Yeah. Let's grab that. This is where that Gigantha comes in handy. Rawr. And the engine moves. This is kind of the problem with a lot of these mid-range decks, is they have to deal with this advantage engine. Like, Gruul Aggro was somewhat created to check Rakdos mid-range. It didn't really get that much off the new shit, but it does a good job of checking it. Okay, so Shieldred has to come in. I think that's worth noting. And we'll trade these every time. That's fine. Interesting. Do we just double obliterating bolt this shit? And then swing through? I hate to say it, but that sounds like it's probably right. 6 points. Like, that's 6 points and puts him on such a awkward position, right? Yeah. Or we just Asika's smack and then obliterate. One obliterating bolt's probably reasonable here. Because we'll trade this for a chariot and a bolt. That's fine. Alright. Unless the last card is a Meat Hook Massacre, we're taking this game down. Yeah, we're taking this game down. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 do, do, do. Yeah, damn, damn, damn. Alright, mono black. You have a lot of targeted removal. We need to punish that. There isn't much to be said outside of that. Like, it's mono black. This deck's already kind of set up for it. What do we not like in this matchup? We love the Sky Sovereigns. The Aggro Wars are kind of back and forth for me on whether or not we want that many of them. I think 3 is fine, though. It's probably going to be 1 Bolt and 1 Aggro War. We want to keep the creature count pretty high for this matchup. And as much as I love Skoos, more than 2 is a little rough in this instance, so let's push it back this way and see how it goes. Doing well in this testing session. The gauntlet is definitely messing with a lot of the stuff that Bandito9999, aka MaxDamage9999, is trying out against us. Yeah, it's a reasonable hand. I don't super love it, but it does still have Reckless Stormseeker and a Chariot, and we just needed the land and we got it already. So I don't hate what we're trying to do here, we'll put it that way. Yeah, let's force it. They should have the removal piece for that, but if they don't, we can get to Chariot next turn. Which feels very strong, and if they kill it, then we get a Stormseeker right through, which also feels pretty good. Worth the risk, and now we see the Chariot coming in. Alright, Fatal Push comes in. I think I'd rather do the Shaper Sanctuary here, yeah. And I think it's the Love Struck here also. It was a debate on the Obliterating Bolt, but frankly, I think the Love Struck's a little more relevant here. We just want the extra token, because we're fine double blocking the Trespasser, and then if they shift things... Oh, that's fascinating. Okay. Don't need the Bone Crusher here as much. And we will, like, we're walking into removal with this Chariot, but we're also totally fine with that because we want to draw cards and get to our next land. Right? Yeah. Let's force it. Boom. There's the land. And to me, that payoff's worth it. Because now we get to a Crone War. And possibly Sky Sovereign next turn. It's going to be a Crone War. Okay. And I think they're almost dead here because of Shieldred. Oof. How do you deal with this? You know what I mean? An extinction event on even? That would be the way to get through? No, that's not going to do it. Yeah. Gruul aggro rolling the mono blacklist. Okay. That was a fun testing session. Thank you everybody for stopping by. I think it's time to raid out to a fellow Rebellion member, Max Damage. Always a pleasure. Remember, like, subscribe, follow, do all of the good things because, again, we're here to entertain. We're here because love. Let's get that raid created. Everybody ready? Let's get that raid train on. Max is going on the ladder now. He is ready to fucking rock. Let's do this. All aboard! Let's get on over to Max. Where are you at, Max? Oh man, what a finale though, right? Always be raiding. Thank you everybody for stopping by. This was a really fun stream. I always enjoy having everybody here. It means a lot to me. We're moving everybody over to Max's stream. Choo choo. Here comes the fucking raid train. Let's do this. And on my end, thank you and good night.